Long ago, before cities and kingdoms, before great armies and mighty kings, God created the world with his own hands. He made the sky above and the land below. He shaped the mountains and filled the seas. He gave life to every tree, every animal, and every person. God cared deeply for his people, and he always had a plan for them. In the land of Israel, God spoke to his prophet Samuel. "Samuel," God said, "I want you to choose a new king for Israel. Go to the house of Jesse in Bethlehem. One of his sons is the one I have chosen." Samuel obeyed God and traveled to Bethlehem. When he arrived at Jesse's house, Jesse called his sons to stand before Samuel. One by one they came forward. They were tall, strong, and confident. Samuel looked at the first son and thought, "Surely this must be the one." But God spoke to Samuel and said, "Do not look at how he looks on the outside. People look at appearance, but I look at the heart." So Samuel continued. One son after another stood before him. 7 sons in total. But God said, "None of these is the one." Samuel asked Jesse, "Do you have another son?" Jesse replied, "Yes, the youngest. He is out in the fields taking care of the sheep." "Bring him to me," Samuel said. Soon a young shepherd boy came running in. His name was David. He was small and young, dressed in simple clothes. But his heart loved God. God said to Samuel, "This is the one." Samuel anointed David and told him, "One day you will be king of Israel." David did not become proud. He returned to his sheep and continued to trust God. Not long after that, trouble came to Israel. The Philistines, Israel's enemies, gathered their army to fight. The army of Israel stood on one side of a wide valley, and the Philistines stood on the other. King Saul led the Israelites, but the Philistines had a powerful warrior named Goliath. Goliath was a giant. He was taller than any man. His armor was heavy, and his voice was loud and frightening. Every morning and every evening, Goliath walked into the valley and shouted, "I am Goliath. Choose one man to fight me. If he wins, we will serve you. If I win, you will serve us." The soldiers of Israel were afraid. They shook with fear. They hid in their tents. No one stepped forward. For 40 days, Goliath shouted at them. He laughed at them. He called them cowards. One day, David's father Jesse sent him to the battlefield to bring food to his brothers. David obeyed and went. When David arrived, he heard Goliath shouting. David was shocked. He asked the soldiers, "Why does no one fight him?" They answered, "He is too big, too strong. We will surely die." David said, "The Lord who saved me from lions and bears will save me from this giant too." David was not afraid because he trusted God. His brothers became angry. They said, "You are just a boy, go back home." But David said, "Someone must stand up. God is stronger than this giant." News of David reached King Saul. David stood before the king and said, "I will fight Goliath. God will help me." King Saul looked at David and said, "You are young, but go and may God be with you." King Saul tried to dress David in armor, but it was too heavy. David said, "I cannot wear this. God is my protection." David took only his sling and 5 smooth stones. He walked toward the giant. Goliath laughed when he saw David. "Am I a dog," he shouted, "that you come at me with a boy?" David answered, "You come with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord." David ran forward. He swung his sling. The stone flew through the air and struck Goliath. The giant fell to the ground. The Philistines ran away, and the army of Israel chased them. God had given them victory. That day, everyone learned an important lesson. David was small, but God was big. David trusted God, and God helped him overcome the giant. David later grew to become a great king, but he never forgot that God was his strength. And this is the story of little David and big God.